You won't believe it, but when I saw my boss with my girlfriend in a restaurant, I understood. For the past year, he had been systematically destroying my life, not because of work. He wanted to possess her. And it all started as the best period of my life. March 2023, San Diego, the office of TechFlow Solutions. I'm Mark Johnson, 28 years old, a project manager with an annual salary of $80,000, a dream come true. And most importantly, Sarah. Sarah Mitchell, 25 years old, a math teacher, the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. We had been dating for 8 months, and I planned to propose to her for Christmas. She often came to my office after work. She'd bring me coffee and wait for me to finish urgent tasks. Colleagues joked that I was the happiest man in the company. My boss, Jason Campbell, 41 years old, was always friendly to Sarah. Too friendly, as I realize now. "Hi, Sarah. How's school? Is Mark working late again?" "It's okay, Mr. Campbell. I'm used to it." "Call me Jason. Mark is a real hard worker. But don't forget about your personal life." I thought he was just being polite. He had a wife, Linda, and 2 children. Family photos were right on his desk. But I didn't notice how his gaze lingered on Sarah, how he found a reason to approach my desk when she was nearby, how he memorized every detail about her job, hobbies, and plans. The first warning bell rang in April. "Mark, we have a big new client from New York. You'll have to travel there twice a month, maybe even more." "But I don't have experience with clients like that." "That's exactly why I'm sending you. Experience comes with practice. First flight on Monday." I was happy about the trust. I didn't realize it was the beginning of a plan to destroy my personal life. The business trip started. The first 2 days of the week, then 3, the entire week. Jason always found new urgent tasks. Sarah complained, "Mark, you're constantly traveling. We hardly see each other. Maybe you can ask for fewer business trips?" I tried, but Jason was unyielding. "Mark, this is your chance for career growth. Don't you want to provide for Sarah's future?" He even mentioned her name. He was worried about our future. What a considerate boss, I thought back then. What would you have thought in my place? Write in the comments. Would you have noticed the red flags? But what happened in May changed everything.
May 2023. I returned from another week-long business trip to New York. Sarah greeted me with a cold demeanor. "Mark, we need to talk." "What's wrong?" "Your boss called me yesterday. He said you were stuck in a meeting and wouldn't be able to answer calls. But when I called you at midnight, you didn't pick up. I was asleep. I had a long day. Jason said he saw you at a bar with colleagues. I wasn't anywhere. Sarah, why do you believe him more than me?" The first crack in our relationship. Jason played it masterfully. At work, everything got worse. My tasks became impossible. "Mark, the project must be ready by Friday. The client won't wait." "But we agreed on next week. It's physically impossible in 3 days." "Then work at night. True professionals find solutions, not excuses." I worked 12 hours a day. I came home exhausted. Sarah reproached me. "You've changed, Mark. You're always tired, irritable. Maybe this job isn't for you." And who whispered that to her? Jason. He accidentally met her near the office when I was working late. Sarah, what a surprise. Waiting for Mark? Yeah, for 2 hours now. Poor thing. He's stuck on a project again. You know, I'm worried about him. Lately, he's been so nervous. And then came the hints. Mark spends a lot of time with a new colleague, Jessica. They're working on the project together. They probably understand each other well. Jessica was our graphic designer. We really did work together often, but it was purely professional. She was even married. But Jason masterfully sowed the seeds of suspicion. You know, Sarah, men sometimes change under work pressure. They start looking for understanding elsewhere. June, July, August. Constant business trips, impossible deadlines, public humiliation at meetings. Mark, your presentation doesn't meet the company standards. Redo it. But I approved it yourself. I approved a rough draft. It was just supposed to be a basis for the work. Colleagues started looking at me with pity. I was becoming a toxic employee, a loser who was constantly criticized by management. And Sarah? She started doubting us. Mark, maybe we should take a break. You're so tense lately. No, everything will be fine. It's just a difficult period. But I didn't know that Jason had already moved on to the active phase of his plan. September 2023. I went on another business trip to New York. It was supposed to last 3 days. Jason called me Friday evening. Mark, the client has some additional questions. You'll have to stay until Monday. But I have a date with Sarah. We planned this for weeks. Work comes first, Mark. Real men understand priorities. And what did Jason do that weekend? He accidentally met Sarah.
Monday morning, I returned from New York. Sarah wasn't answering her calls. When I finally reached her, her voice was cold. Mark, where were you on Saturday night? At the hotel, working on the presentation. Why? Strange. Jason said he saw you at a nightclub with some blonde. What? That's not true. I didn't even leave the hotel. Mark, why lie? He showed me a photo from his phone. What photo? Show me. I already deleted it. I don't want to look at it. Jason took a photo of some guy who looked like me with a girl in a club. Maybe he even set someone up, and Sarah believed him. The next day at work, I confronted Jason. What the hell are you telling Sarah about me? Mark, calm down. I'm just worried about her. I see how she's suffering from your behavior. What behavior? I work 24/7. That's the problem. You've neglected your relationship, and nature abhors a vacuum. His smile was poisonous. He was enjoying my suffering. October was hell. Jason increased the pressure. New impossible projects, constant criticism, threats of firing. Mark, your productivity has dropped. Maybe we should reconsider your position at the company. And in parallel, he was comforting Sarah. Accidental meetings near the cafe where she had lunch. Accidental phone calls. Sarah, how are you? Is Mark working late again? You shouldn't be alone. He played the role of a caring older friend, a wise mentor who understands a woman's needs. And me? I was becoming a paranoid person. I checked Sarah's phone. I stalked her social media. I made jealous scenes. Who are you talking to for so long with Jason? He just asked how I was. It's politeness, Mark. That's not politeness. It's... What? What do you want to say? I couldn't tell her the truth. Who would believe that my boss was systematically destroying my relationship to possess my girlfriend? November. Sarah was disappearing more often. Late returns home. Mysterious calls. Who are you talking to? A friend? What friend? Mark, you're interrogating me like a detective. It's unhealthy. And Jason continued playing his game. At the company party, he approached me. Mark, maybe you should take a vacation. Restore your strength. I see you're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I'm fine. No, you're not fine. Sarah notices it too. She's worried about your health. When did you get to talk to her? We sometimes meet for coffee. She needs support, understanding, what you're not giving her. In December, Sarah made a statement that shattered my world. "Mark, I want us to take a break." "Why?" "You've changed. You're aggressive, suspicious, and cold. I don't recognize the man I fell in love with. It's because of work. Give me time." But I didn't know it was already too late. Jason had achieved his goal.
December 23rd, 2023, 2 days before Christmas, which was supposed to be our engagement day. Instead of a proposal, a breakup. "Mark, this is the end. I can't live like this anymore. Sarah, please, give me one more chance." "No, you've become toxic. Constant suspicion, control, aggression. That's not love. I love you. Maybe once, but now you're suffocating me. I need space." She took her things and left. The engagement ring was left in its box on the table, a symbol of a shattered life. I took a vacation for the holidays. I couldn't face the world. I drank wine and replayed the last year in my head. What did I do wrong? Friends tried to support me. "Mark, maybe it's for the best, if she left you so easily." "No, she was the life of my life." January 3rd, 2024. I returned to work. Jason met me with false sympathy. "Mark, how are you? I heard about you and Sarah. I'm sorry." "Thanks. You know, women value stability. Maybe you should focus on your career. Prove to her that you're a reliable man." His advice sounded logical. I didn't yet realize that he just wanted to keep me away from Sarah. February, March, I worked like a madman. I tried to prove to everyone and myself that I wasn't a loser. But at night, I stalked Sarah on social media. She looked happy. New photos, a new hairstyle, a new smile. Someone was taking these photos, someone she wasn't showing. On March 20th, I accidentally saw them. I was leaving work and decided to stop by Bella Vista Restaurant, our favorite place with Sarah. I wanted to remember the happy times. And I saw them at our favorite table. Jason was holding Sarah's hand. She was laughing. He was kissing her fingers. Time stopped. My heart stopped beating. The ground fell from under my feet. My boss was dating my ex-girlfriend in the restaurant where I planned to propose to her. I stood outside the window and watched them share a dessert. How he whispered something in her ear. How she blushed and laughed, just like she once laughed with me. Then everything fell into place. The impossible deadlines, the constant business trips, the hints about my inadequacy, the fake photos, the accidental meetings with Sarah. Jason wasn't just destroying my career, he was systematically, methodically destroying my relationship to possess the woman I loved. A year of manipulation, a year of psychological terror, a year when I thought the problem was me. Would you have believed in such meanness? Write in the comments. How far can a person go for desire? The next day, I learned even more horrible details.
The next morning, I couldn't work. One thought spun in my head. How long had this been going on? When did their relationship start? I decided to conduct my own investigation. My colleague Jennifer from HR was always kind to me. Over a cup of coffee, I cautiously began to ask, "Jen, does Jason often work late?" Lately, yes, but it's strange. His wife, Linda, called last week. She said he doesn't spend the night at home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those were the exact days Sarah had 3 evenings. And how long has this been going on? Well, since about October. Why are you having problems? No, just curious. October. That's when Sarah started to distance herself from me, when I became paranoid and suspicious. It turns out I had every reason to be suspicious, just not for the reasons I thought. In the evening, I called my friend Mike, a part-time detective. Mike, I need a favor. Can you check if my boss is really getting a divorce? Give me a day. The next evening, Mike called back. Mark, your Jason filed for divorce on February 28th. The reason? Irreconcilable differences. 5 days after I saw them in the restaurant. But the most interesting thing, he had been renting an apartment since November of last year, an expensive one, downtown. Neighbors say a young dark-haired woman is there regularly. Sarah was dark-haired. November. That's when she started to come home late. She said she was working on a new curriculum. Jason had been planning this for months, maybe even years. He studied me, my weaknesses, my schedule. He knew when I wouldn't be home. He created situations for accidental meetings with Sarah. And me? I was helping him. I told him about our plans, about problems in the relationship, about everything he was interested in. When are you going to propose to Sarah? For Christmas. I've already bought the ring. Great! She'll be happy. Although women are sometimes unpredictable about such things. He sowed the seed of doubt even in that. Now I understand his strategy. He made me an inadequate partner for Sarah, constantly overworked, irritable, suspicious, and he played the role of an understanding friend, a wise mentor. A classic manipulation. Create a problem and offer yourself as the solution. But the most painful thing, Sarah didn't know the truth. She really thought the problem was me, that I had changed, become toxic, inattentive. And Jason? He was perfect, mature, successful, attentive, the one who always had time to listen to her while her boyfriend was working late at his command. I had 2 options, give up or fight. Giving up meant allowing him to steal not only my girlfriend, but my dignity as well. Fighting meant risking everything, my job, my reputation, my future. What would you have chosen? When someone steals the most valuable thing from you, is it worth fighting for justice? I chose war.
The plan for revenge matured in me in one evening. Jason made one critical mistake. He underestimated me. He thought I was a broken, morally destroyed loser. But anger gives strength. First step, gathering evidence. I started recording all of our conversations on a voice recorder. Every absurd task, every unsubstantiated criticism, every hint about my personal life. In a week, I had 4 hours of compromising material. Second step, witnesses. Colleagues had long noticed Jason's inappropriate behavior towards me. Jennifer from HR agreed to testify about his strange questions about my personal life. Third step, documents. I collected all my projects from the last year. It turned out that half of the tasks Jason had called failures had actually brought the company millions in profit. Fourth step, client feedback. The client from New York was thrilled with my work. They even sent an official letter of thanks. Jason had hidden this letter. On April 5th, I gathered everything and went to see the CEO, Robert Wilson. Mr. Wilson, I need to talk to you about Jason Campbell. I'm listening, Mark. I laid out the recordings, documents, client letters, and testimonies on his desk. He's been destroying you for a whole year out of personal revenge. He fell in love with your girlfriend and was systematically destroying your relationship. Robert listened for 2 hours. His face grew darker and darker. Mark, these are serious accusations. That's why I have proof. The next day, a closed meeting of the board of directors took place. Jason was called in for an explanation. He tried to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable, especially the recording where he discussed with his buddy. That mark finally broke. Now I have a chance with Sarah. The result? Jason was fired without severance. The company also sued him for creating a toxic work environment. I was promoted to his position with an official apology and compensation. But the most difficult part was with Sarah. I sent her all the evidence, the recordings, documents, and testimonies, the truth about what happened to our relationship. She called 3 days later. Mark, I didn't know. He said you changed because of stress. He created that stress, Sarah, for a whole year. I feel so stupid. How could I not notice? It's not your fault. He's a professional manipulator. But going back to us was no longer possible. Too much pain, distrust, shattered dreams. We remained friends. Sarah broke up with Jason immediately after the truth was revealed. And what about Jason? He moved to another state. I heard his wife took the kids and half of their property. His career in IT is over. Our industry is small. Everyone knows each other. You know what I realized? Sometimes people are capable of horrible things for their desires. They're ready to destroy other people's lives without feeling any regret. But the truth always comes out. You just have to have the courage to fight. If someone is trying to destroy your life, don't stay silent. Gather evidence. Fight. Justice may be delayed, but it always comes. Write in the comments, have you ever faced toxic bosses? How did you fight for your rights? And subscribe. I have many more stories about how not to let yourself be wronged.